To a senator from the state of Texas who was a very good guy. He's no longer a state senator. And I was describing to him the Colonias problem, and he was saying, well, why can't we just deport those folks? I said, Senator, they're legally here. They're U.S. residents and U.S. citizens, okay? The vast majority of them have been here a long time. You can't deport them, okay?
With the help of the Industrial Areas Foundation, Colonia residents organized into a powerful political force called Valley Interfaith and became the lightning rod that brought state and national media attention to the Colonias.
Their legislative reaction was, we need to stop these colonias. It's embarrassing that we have these people living under these conditions.
In response, the legislature passed laws to begin building water and wastewater systems. The Texas Attorney General sued over 40 developers who had illegally sold land without providing water and sewage. To stop new colonias, legislation was passed preventing services if new building codes couldn't be met. But some of the laws actually hurt the residents because their homes couldn't meet the tough new standards.
When the politicians say, we don't want people to be living under these conditions in the colonias, it assumes that they had a choice that was better. It assumes that they're living in these terrible conditions because somehow that's what they chose because they had the alternative of this, when in fact the alternative was being homeless.
With hundreds of colonias facing the possibility of never getting services, lawmakers reworked the standards.
The point of the standards was not to create hazards or difficulties or burdens on the colonial residents. The importance of the standards was to stop or impede or slow down the proliferation of colonias, and those standards were imposed upon us by the state of Texas that said, if you're okay, we're going to put up the money to create water and sewer services, but not if we're going to continue to exacerbate the problem. And therefore, they were going to say to the counties, you have some responsibility here, and your responsibility is to make sure that does not happen.
In all, there have been 13 bills passed to address the problems of colonias. In the last session alone, there was a nonpartisan federal and state effort to stop new colonia developments. A Border Affairs Committee was created to hear the concerns of colonia residents, and numerous bills were introduced, giving counties more enforcement powers.
10 years ago, when we started this fight in 1989, when we first passed the first bill, Senate Bill 2, it was a different environment. I remember a lot of debate on it. So I think the mood has changed in the legislature. I think the legislature has been educated a lot more on colonias.
Continue to pour money into cleaning up and correcting colonias. This, in essence, really gives us the
It's a very difficult issue, but it's something that we need to just keep working at it every session.
52. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. House Bill 52 is passed in engrossment.
The latest legislation gives power to local government. Now the county, once unaccountable, must deal with the issues of colonias. At Green Valley Farms, Rosie blames the county for her problems and is demanding a new road.
Had that colonia come to us today, when any one of those people that are on the Commissioner's Court were on the Commissioner's Court, never would have been approved. That colonia was built at a time when those kinds of things were being approved, and people bought there because it was cheap to live, and they were able to put their home there. All of a sudden, it became Cameron County's problem to fix. Even though we didn't create it, we had to fix it, and so we have to find the resources to fix it. You know, when you have limited resources, it's very difficult to do that.
All state, federal, and grant money earmarked for colonias is now administered by the county. The county commissioners must deal with the problems of the past. There are hundreds of colonias competing for little money, and this commission decides who will get it first.
We just want the basics, a road to get in and get out, a road for our kids to go to school, a road for me to go to work. Hi. Hello. How are you?
Rosie is not taking chances.
You gonna make it to the meeting Tuesday at the courthouse?
Much like the efforts of Valley Interfaith and Episo, she's organizing her community to come to meetings and sign petitions to make certain that Cameron County doesn't forget the people of Green Valley Farms.
We need to keep it up, we need to keep going, we need to keep asking in order for something to get done.
Cameron County Courthouse. Today, the commissioners will decide the fate of a grant earmarked for Colonias, $10 million, and Rosie wants part of it for Green Valley Farms.
The leadership in the community is very important, the leadership in the Colonias. If you don't have leaders in the Colonias who are willing to fight for what they need and what they have a right to, then you don't, it doesn't work.
Have you ever had to live outside your home for 3 weeks?
No, I haven't.
Do you leave at home? You leave your home in the morning with a packed suitcase because you don't know if you're going to be able to get back? I understand perfectly that
one of the most difficult things that we face on the Commissioner's Court, and one of the things that probably upsets me the most, is the fact that we have to choose between groups of very needy people. Who's to say that one colonia has more pressing problems than another colonia when they both flood, they both have problems that are significant in terms of the quality of life in their individual communities? We're giving you what you want. Well, at least I'm going to recommend that we do that. The alternative is this guy.
County Judge Hinojosa assures that the money is there, but Rosie's not sure whether he will move on the motion to help Green Valley or postpone it for yet another year.
How can we expedite this program? Because I'm concerned. Rosie is right.
The tables are turning in Rosie's favor. She has swayed the other commissioners to her side.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by stating aye. All those opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Congratulations,
Thank you very much, everybody.
I'm proud of you all. Finally, you're working together.
Green Valley Farms will now get a new road. And for Rosie, perhaps her greatest victory has been uniting her community. Organizing block by block, door by door. More and more Colonia residents are exercising what they call their civic duty.
If somebody needs help, they need to help themselves, and we need to teach them how to survive without any government help. We as the residents, we have to have the initiative to do everything that we have to do.
Some colonias have initiated their own volunteer programs, like Promotoras, a women's group that reaches out to the community on issues of health and family.
If we don't work together, nothing will get done. We all united in this colonia to get the work done.
This self-help program teaches residents to build their own water and wastewater systems.
I was amazed the first time I walked into a colonia, and I said, hey guys, how do you feel about building a sewer line? And I expected kind of a tepid reaction. A lot of people say, hey, let's do it. We want it. We need to do it now. When can we start? We want this nightmare to be over.
They don't know how to do it. In the beginning, there's a little bit of fear because they don't know how to do it, and we give them that expertise. We give them engineering supervision and construction supervision, but they're very willing to give up themselves to improve, not their homes. This is a community project. This is a neighborhood project.
Active citizenship means recognizing your responsibilities. Colonia residents are recognizing that they have responsibilities, they have obligations, not just to their own interests, but that of the larger community.
It's the annual fair for Proyecto Azteca, a federally funded nonprofit organization that helps the poorest of Colonia residents build and finance their own homes. Proyecto Azteca conducts extensive 6-week classes on home ownership, from learning about mortgages to building a house. This self-help initiative works on the basis of sweat equity. Residents invest their time, and Proyecto Azteca gives them the supervision and tools to build their own homes. On average, the program helps build 50 houses a year. Maria Perez, like thousands of others, is on a waiting list to qualify for the Proyecto Azteca program.
If I didn't have the need, I wouldn't take bread from another person that needed it more. Somehow I have to get ahead, one way or another. I have to find a better way for my family.
You could never give up hope, because if you, being part of the program, were to give up hope and for every one instance even show these families that, hey, it may not be possible, then what do they have to believe in? We had to believe that it was going to be a dream that could become realized for these families. We could never give up hope, because then if we did, then these families had nothing to go on.
residents devote up to 40 hours a week for 3 months to collectively build 4 houses. Uncles and aunts, family and friends all pitch in to help.
The work that we did, it was a big experience for me because I had never done construction. So basically this was really, really great for me. I mean, my kids are really happy, and so am I. It's our home. And we finally, my dream came true, finally.
I feel nervous. I feel nervous because that's the first time que alguien nos dio una opportunity to do something like this. They gave me this opportunity to make un dream come true, right? Y ando como nervous, and como se dice, subes el high blood pressure, right? Because it's unbelievable. I don't know. I can't explain to you lo que estoy sintiendo yo.
Very happy and we're very grateful.
Yeah, and grateful. It's unbelievable.
4 months of hard work, of his sweat, you know, and tears going into that house, and this is what he gets, and they definitely deserve it. It's another dream come true for a family, you know, and it's well worth the work and you know, the bad times and the good times you have to go through with the families to make sure that they get something like this, that they have a decent home to live in.
A decent home to live in, with running water and electricity. A safe place for children to play. For hundreds of thousands of people in the Colonias, the American dream remains elusive.
Home ownership is probably one of the biggest investments that any American will make in his lifetime. And it is unfortunate that these people that want to realize that dream have gone into a situation that has only worsened their condition and converted that dream into a nightmare.
What we need to see is a Marshall type of plan. There should be a strategy developed both by the county, the state, and the country to deal with the situation. The colonial problem is not a new problem. It's been in existence for 40 years. And through these years, people have ignored it.
Even though laws have made it tougher for new colonias to develop, community groups continue to keep a vigilant watch.
Right now, as we speak, some of these developers are still trying to get, selective representatives, to loosen the standards, to make it possible for development to occur in ways which are inimical to the best interest of the counties, the best interest of the colonial residents themselves, and in the best interest of the taxpayers of the state of Texas.
There are no easy answers or quick solutions to the problems that exist in colonias, but the people who live here have hope that their children will see a better tomorrow.
The children that we have in this community and the young people that we have in this community is our biggest asset. If we're going to get the most out of this asset, which is our whole future, then we have to invest. You don't grow assets without investing in them. When that much of your population is young people, that is very real, it's not rhetoric.
Providence, Rhode Island. It's graduation day at Brown University. The day that Blanca has been waiting for.
For the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, John Herschel Glenn.
Indeed, it is clear that at Brown, the idea of using your education to change the world has been carefully passed along from one generation to the next. Today is a glorious day in the life of the university. It is a glorious day in the lives of each and every one of you sitting on the college green. The people who supported you, who made this moment possible, those who helped you hope for what you could not quite see, the people who believed in you.
Blanca would like to thank her parents, especially her mom, for their inspiration and motivation that they have instilled in her while growing up. Her mom always told her that she could do anything that she set her mind on, and she'd always followed her advice and succeeded. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for being so supportive and for your inspirations, and for teaching her to be independent and determined.
Blanca is the second Rojas child to graduate from college. At Colonia Sunny Skies, it's the moment they've been waiting for. They're finally getting their city services. Lawyers from Texas Rural Legal Aid, working with county officials, untangled the legal issues which had engulfed the Colonia. County Judge Hinojosa leads in the groundbreaking.
In the long run, it just benefits the community as a whole. As you know, the saying goes, you pay now or you pay later. And if you invest now, which I truly believe is the right way to do it, in the long run, the payback is just 100-fold.
For the first time ever, residents will have the most precious service, water. And soon a new paved road called Sunny Skies. After waiting for over a year, Maria Perez got word that she finally qualified for a new Proyecto Azteca home.
At first, of course, you're a little kind of euphoric. It's like really like, wow, I can't believe it, I'm going to get a house. You know, right now they're looking at this and they're just dreaming. And they go back home like today and they're still living in the same house, they're still whatever, but it's not so bleak anymore. That, you know, tomorrow, the next day, it's not so bad because they know that tomorrow or next day means they're going to come and work on this house and that they're eventually going to get it.
At Green Valley Farms, a celebration. After waging a 5-year battle, they now have their new road.
The future of their community is not going to be determined what others do or don't do for them, but what they do for themselves. And that is really at the heart of their belief in terms of making this a success, because they are not waiting for someone to come to save them. And that, to me, is the real story behind the Colonia, is what they have done with very little, and we should respect that.
To learn more about Colonias, visit our website at pbs.org.